When you see people talk sometimes, you're wondering, did you think before saying that? People just, got dictate things out. And I'm going to be honest. It's not as easy as it was even 5 years ago. It's not. There are things that you would see once and look away immediately. There are things you will see, and at that moment, you pause and tell yourself, this is not right.
When you get exposure, what comes to your mind?
As a deep one, exposure, I would say, openness. I think you can control it, but it has to be an intentional decision. I'm a writer, and sometimes my works are mostly centered towards hope for people that have gone through a lot of things in life. But just like people would say, every man is responsible for the outcome of his life. Notice that everything you are seeing is shaping how you see marriage, is shaping how you see God, is shaping how you see education.
Like that. Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Becoming Talks with Bukola. And today we're talking about something very important: how what we're exposed to impacts who we are becoming. I invited someone very important, and I'll see you guys very soon. Thank you. I have Arisha with me, and I'm going to be asking him a few questions about our environment, exposure, and how it influences who we are becoming.
Morning, Treasure.
Thank you so much for coming. So, for my first question, I want to ask, do you think people are aware of how their environment and what they are exposed to affects who they are becoming?
That's a thought-provoking question, to be honest. And I would say no. Because an average person just believes that they are all-powerful. Believe that nothing can influence me or affect me. It's not true. Because there's always a subconscious effect that the environment plays on you. So people are not aware to the extent that they should be aware. Yeah, it doesn't.
So when you hear exposure, what comes to your mind?
As a deep one, exposure, I would say openness. So for something to be exposed, it means it is open, right? Either deliberately or not deliberately. Something is exposed, it means that external influences have control over it. So I would say openness. Something is open and vulnerable. You would have two words for it to be: openness and vulnerability, essentially.
So exposure is openness. So do you think we have control over what we're exposed to?
In a world like now, I say it's relative. More than ever now, the media, for instance, is a major exposure channel for young people, especially, right? And I don't think you can control it, but it has to be an intentional decision. Because take for instance, nobody goes on IG now and says, I only want to see something like this. Your feed automatically just adjust to what you search frequently. So it's possible to control exposure, but the question actually is, how intentional are you about what you see? Because there's an issue you cannot not see. It's even everywhere. There's things that society has painted towards as normal. Do you understand? So I believe that it's something that is possible, but it's more, not difficult, but it requires more intentionality than before now. So an average person now has to be more intentional than 30 years ago on what things and what content they have been exposed to. I think I've captured that.
So at what point do you think people become very aware of being intentional about what they're exposed to? Anything they realize that okay, actually.
There was this research I heard about a while back. Some scientists did an experiment, essentially. So they took a robot and they fed the robot with data from Twitter. Say very often. And after they did that to the robot became atheist just from feeding it with data from a platform. Became an atheist, became racist, and all of that. So at what point? I think it's the point where we realize how much damage exposure is doing to us. Because sometimes you may feel like, oh, I know, but many times it's very subtle. Just notice that the things you are seeing is shaping how you see marriage, is shaping how you see God, is shaping how you see education, right? So sometimes people don't realize until it is too late, until when you already formed a belief system around something. So I'm saying the point, you shouldn't get to that point normally, right? But it's a point, sadly, where most people realize how much they have lost because you've seen so much, it has fed you, and we are all emotional beings at our core. So when something resonates with your heart, even if it's rubbish you are saying, as long as you felt connected to that message, it has fed you something. So, and I believe that, I hope it doesn't get to the point for our viewers, right? But we need to be intentional about the things that we see and let it damage you so much before you realize that it's affecting people.
I don't have this here, but then it's something I want to say. I feel like everybody feels like experience is the best teacher. They're waiting to be a victim of something before they can learn from it.
True.
But it shouldn't be like you can hear stories of people, you can learn from other people's mistakes, and then I think you influence it into your life. So a few seconds ago, you spoke about media and how it influences who are becoming. Like it's like a major source of exposure. But then aside media, we have the environment people come from, we have friendship, we have content consumed. And when I'm talking about content, I'm not just saying Instagram content, maybe the books you read, I think that's content. I don't know. But then, based on your opinion, what do you think influences people the most? Remember there's friendship, and family, and background, and all of that. So what do you think affects people the most?
Alright, before I come to the question, I think I'll just have a word out there. Everybody is a body of belief systems. Right? Nobody just comes and just myself here, there are things over years that I've come to believe, right? So even if I may not look it on the outside, but inside, if you were to do like an X-ray, I would say a heart X-ray or something like that, what you'd find is belief system connecting together to make a whole person. It means before I say I believe it's possible to die, for instance, it means I have seen things that support that belief. And it did not just come when I opened Instagram and begin to swipe or scroll on IG. It came from my background. So now I would say what has the most influence, but I would say what has the first influence. It's family. In this part of the world, family is very much underrated. Big family is just that's my dad, that's my mom, that's my sister, live in the same house. But no, the first early years of a child's life are spent in a confined space called the home. And even Bible says that he settled the solitary in families. Family honestly is so underrated. So a lot of things that I've been right. So in my research, I've met with people from broken homes, I've met with victims of rape, I've met with a lot of things like that. And I could already tell from speaking with them that it was not just because they were on social media, they had a faulty background from home. So maybe a mom that didn't care, a dad that wasn't available, or a sister that abused, but you get things like that. So I would say family is something we need to reawaken to as a nation as a whole. Family is defined as the smallest, a global society, right? So it means a family is not focused on, we'll have a damaged society. So I think the first, I won't say the most because it's, for people it's different, but the first is family.
Thank you. So while you were speaking, I just remember something that I learned in secondary or primary school. Secondary school, social studies, where they say that the first unit of socialization is the family. And that's, they mentioned different points. They mentioned family, school, churches, but then the most important one is the family. Thank you very much for sharing that. So now for you, I have a question. Have you ever been in a situation where you realize that what you were exposed to influenced the decision that you made?
Oh yeah. Alright, so yes, honestly, there have been times where I realized that, I think the things I've been exposing myself to wasn't helping. And I think I've always been someone that liked my personal space. In fact, I came to Landmark. I tried to see you in Landmark because I didn't want to use phones. That's how much I like not even being online at all. I really love just having time to myself. And before now, I used to do it I'll have like a month, I will not use my phone. Even before I came to school. Just 21 days, I'll just remove my SIM card, just be hearing music. I really wanted to be in a good headspace. But sometimes when you get busy, when you get jobs, when you're a remote person, you just have to be online. And sometimes last year, I realized that I was getting loud inside. Right, so it was difficult to focus on things that I could focus on before now. Right, so I told myself, I think personal growth is more important than anything else. So I took some time off again, the media space, and that was sometimes around September for a while till I think December thereabout. I was totally off and on. I spent more time off than on. And after that period, I again gained mental clarity. So I would say sometimes controlling exposure may be shutting down. You may be taking some time off. Because sometimes I've seen that thing go doom scrolling. I promise you it's real. And it affects people more than you know. It's unconsciously training you to only pay attention to bite size, small things. So you can't have an attention span over 2 hours, over 3 hours, because once again, you get to it's like off my head, right? So I had to do something accountable for her. And it really helped. Now, even if I'm not online, I I have a lot that I'm going to, I just get paid work essentially, and I don't even mind all of that. So yes, I have. I hope that answered your question.
Yes. Thank you for sharing your experience. So to my next question, do you think exposure affects people without them realizing it?
Yes. All right. To your question, yeah, I believe someone can be influenced and not know it. About a few months ago, I saw this Instagram reel. Someone I knew shared it, so I just thought to go through it. And the woman was a lady, very quite young. You know what I mean? And she was talking from so much anger and pain. I can't be under a man. Why did God, even do that? Going to the comment section, you could tell that some people subconsciously they may not have seen anything wrong in it. That shows that influence sometimes is going to be very subtle. Just feel like it's not that bad now. It's not that bad now. So because subconsciously, even in science, for instance, the brain is made up of once the brain sees an image, it breaks it down into the tiniest pixel. So what you just think, I just scrolled and passed, something already is in the brain. So when all of that compounds together, it begins to feel normal. Right, so if you watch now let's take it out of bigger space now. If you watch movies where the husband always beats the wife, those are pictures. So your brain is feeling so much of that. Over time, you're like, it's normal. Don't you also beat your wife? And you're surprised that you're the one that have seen so much of that, and it's becoming normal to you. So yes, influence can be subtle. That is the danger of influence. Influence can be subtle. You cannot know that you're under an influence.
So I think based on what you said, someone can become something. They might not necessarily have
Yes.
But there's the fact they were exposed to it.
True.
It has a way of changing them.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. So to my next question, do you think we have control over what we're exposed to?
That depends on how intentional we are. Because I'm going to be honest. It's not as easy as it was even 5 years ago. It's not as easy as it was 5 years ago. Even if you say I'm not going to be on any media platform, you will still walk on the street. You still talk to people, and when you see people talk, sometimes you're wondering, did you think before saying that? People just take things out and obviously because of what they fed themselves with. So, and I'm sorry to say this, but it may not be entirely possible, but it is somewhat possible depending on how intentional you are. There are things that you would see once and look away immediately. There are things you would see, and at that moment you pause and tell yourself, this is not right. I do not believe in this. You have to be that intentional. That sometimes you're like, no, this is not true, and it's not in your mind. You say it. You have to say it out loud, so you can hear yourself saying what you believe in. So at times when someone told me this, I'm like, I don't agree with this. It's an Instagram reel, and I'm talking back. I don't agree with this. This is against what my faith teaches me. And someone's like, why are you saying it out? Just say it to your mind. I'm not saying it to my mind. I have to be intentional about this. So I believe if we are going to be that intentional, we have to be vocal, more vocal, not just passive. Like, that's his own perspective. No. That is the wrong perspective. I don't have to comment and ban that people I know. But myself, my mindset is my own priority. And that is what we have to do. So it's possible, but it may not be as easy as it was 5 years ago.
Okay, so based on what I understood, he said it's possible, like a personal responsibility. That means you have to be very intentional. And then he mentioned something about being very vocal. It's not enough to be silent about it. I was having a conversation with someone recently, and then he said, when you have standards, stick to it, like let everyone around you know what you believe in. Not that you believe that this has to be done this way and then you're silent about it. You have to be very loud about it.
Yeah, true.
And I appreciate that. But then there's something, what we're exposed to can be influenced personally and based on our environment. But then, do you believe that it reaches a point where people blame their environment so much? You're like, it's not my fault, the home I'm coming from, that's what I saw growing up. Like, do you think we blame our environment?
Yes, actually.
And I don't want it to come off as insensitive.
Yes. But just like Bishop Bukola would say, every man is responsible for the outcome of his life. I promise you, there are people that logically, some grew up, as a dad, drunk, right, beating. He didn't choose that one. That was where you were born into. So he didn't choose their families, for instance. They didn't get to choose where they were born. But for some reason, they found themselves in a broken home. A lot of people that were born in very poor backgrounds that had to fight through all of that, right? So, sincerely, logically speaking, you may not have been their fault. But the time comes when you realize that how long will I keep blaming my background, right? I have to take a stance here. So I believe that in as much as, like she said, not to be sensitive or to try to, make it look like you are a victim in a sense, but to sincerely bring it to a point where you realize that you don't have to choose to be. There's this thing that says, don't let your background put you back on the ground, right? You may not have had the privilege to choose where you were born or the family you came from, but you can choose the choices you make. You can decide to be different. You can decide that I won't let this influence. I mean, even people that had not so perfect homes, there are things that I know now that I can do in my own family. Do you understand? Not because I have very beautiful parents that are loving and kind. Yeah, but there are still things I feel like, oh, I think I'm going to do this instead of my child. Not to look down on anybody, but to because times are changing. Do you understand? So, however you were born, however problems you met at birth, it's important to know that you need to begin to decide for yourself. I think that's capital.
Thank you. So you said something about being intentional, like taking responsibility if you want to manage or control what you are being exposed to.
Yeah.
So what does being intentional look like practically?
I think it was Fusi that said focus is blindness. I believe so. Yeah, focus is blindness. It means that I'm seeing something so much that I'm not seeing any other thing around it. I'm seeing something so much. I'm not seeing anything around it. I'm so focused on this. I don't know what is happening here, what's happening here. This is my focus. So that's being intentional. It means being blind. Being blind to what, and you know when you are blind, you're not peeping. You're saying, a blind person doesn't see at all. So it means that even if for some reason you are more focused on what you believe is important than what is appearing before you, right? So it's not something you do in a day. It's a life. Honestly, it's a lifelong decision you have to take every single day. But if you don't get to the point of blindness as focus, that is being intentional. It means this is appealing to the eyes, but I'm blind towards it. Blind towards it.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So I believe we all had a very pleasant time as much as I did. I learned a lot of things. We spoke about being blindness. We spoke about human beings as a body of beings. We spoke about a lot of things. I realized that becoming is not accidental. It is highly influenced by what you are exposed to. So today, you're not just living with the mindset that, oh, it's my environment that made me like this, but you have to be very intentional about it. And how are you going to be intentional? You have to be very focused on what you believe in. This is Becoming with Bukola, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.
Bye.